Hello everybody, I am glad to meet you once again for our meeting on our YouTube channel and holistic visions of life, and how to show you how far I can go into the holistic visions. I want to come back to the basics. What are the basics? The base. It's just how to learn to communicate and to meet the nature spirit. Why? Because they are all around you. It's good to know about the galactics. It's good to know about the intraterrestrial. It's good to know about the dragons, the ascended masters. But do you know much more about the fairies, the elves, the dwarves, the fawn, the unicorn, and the dragons? They are all living around us every day, and they are taking care of our Mother Earth. Without them, there will be no fertilization at all. There will be no seeds growing on, and the roots of our seeds, of our plants, won't be fed by the holy God's elements, energies of the earth. Do you know about all that? That's very interesting. Do you know how to communicate with them? Do you know that a fairy can heal? Yeah, with its joys, its freshness, she can heal children who are crying. Do you know that a dwarf can help you if you lack of anchorage? And if you are not well anchored to our Mother Earth, the dwarfs can help you to that. And also that through them, they are very, I would say, very wise men into the dwarf worlds, and they unite sometimes in some circle around tremendous crystal in the cave, in the crystal matrix cave into the ground, and so as to initiate new kind of energies, energy made up of oligo elements like selenium, emerald, crystal, and palladium, and all magnesium, and all these elements we need to live well and to equilibrate our physical body. So I would like to present some of them and how to communicate with them and how to call them and what are their interaction with us in our everyday life. So you can see here is a fairy and talking with this dragon. The dragons will be the objects of another video because it's a tremendous subject. I could speak about the dragons during 2, 3, 4 days and maybe much more, because I've been living with us quite a lot of big parts of my life, and their capacities are tremendous. And what I love into the dragons, it's their mix of strengths, powers, but also kindness, softness, and so on. So it's very nice. Their heart is so big and they are so huge for a certain numbers of them. They can be, the galactic dragons are thousands of kilometers long. They are dragons living in the void also. They are dragons into our intraterrestrial Earth. There are dragons everywhere. There are water dragons, which live in the Aquafarians world, into the galactic worlds, and there are light dragons and solar dragons, lunar dragons. There are a lot dragons. So let's come back to the nature spirit. I want to show you something. I want to share. Oh. Okay. So let's see how it works onto the screen. Yeah, well, not too bad. I am going to change just, yeah, I believe that it's I go with that from you. That will be better, yeah, okay. So let's go with that. Okay, see here you can see, do I go me into the picture? Will it be better if I do that? Or do I do that? No, that it's not good. Maybe that, or that, you will be the screen a little bit bigger. So it's nice to look at that. Okay, so let's look at all those nature spirit. There are just a few of them which are presented there. Most of them it is in our books, the books we have been written with my wife and I, Martin Isadora, my wife, who is a shaman woman, a medicine woman. And we have been writing this book about the enlightened beings, but for now on is available only in French. So I hope it will be translated pretty soon in English at the time, because it's really interesting. We speak about archangels, angels, dragon, nature spirits, galactics, intraterrestrials, ascended masters, the Elohim, Sephiroth also. We speak also about the Ayat HaKodesh, the 24 elders, the 12 Marial stars, and the divinities, and also Christ, Mary Magdalena. So you see that's a books which is trying to show an overall view of all the enlightened beings, so to help you to access to the circle. Because what is has been shown very often, it's I could say that the enlightened beings have been presented like being organized in a pyramidal ways, where down there are the nature spirit, and then the human beings, and above the angel, and then the archangel, and then above the Elohim. Sometimes the ascended masters are some place around there, and the galactics, which are sometimes well above, sometimes beside us. And so there is a kind of scale in the presentation of all the enlightened beings that I don't like at all, because that's the same kind of representation, and that's the same kind of organization that do have our usual business, and that's whose main goal is just to attract the energy from below to the top. And so the reality of the organization of the enlightened beings is in the Amerindian circle, where everybody is at his place, everybody is in the circle, and everybody is equal to everybody. And so here are the nature spirit, and they contribute a lot into the High Council of Light, because for their qualities and their intelligence and their knowledge. Here you have onto the small representation you can see there. Here you have to the upper left a troll, and then you have a dwarf. Oh, this representation of a dwarf is much more like the Lord of the Rings dwarfs, but there are other dwarfs which are very wise men, and just they have an assembly of 12 of them sometimes, and meditating around crystal, and just doing a tremendous works for the earth, because their knowledge is infinite. For me, who is passionate by sacred side, I often work with intraterrestrial dwarf, and to know more about their knowledge of earth and the kind of energetic flows which come by from the earth, and they help me fully to identify them, sometimes to purify them and to activate them. That's really fantastic to work with them, because you don't know about that, but the energetic flow coming from earth can heal people and can awaken people. So you can make energetic path, and so a dwarf can arouse, can be there and just stand at the place where you need to make a point with a special intention of healing, another with a special intention of awakening, another with a special intention of communicating and being with the wool, and so on. And the dwarf will put himself at those places, and with your extrasensorial capacity, you can easily find out where he is, and then go there, and then place your installation. And then here are the elves. The elves that passionate because they know a lot about arts, about architectures, about paintings, about sculptures, but also they are warriors. And that's very interesting to work with them, because they can be parts of them, and they can help you to be more creative, to be more sensible, to be much more linked to our Mother Earth Gaia, and to have such to have results of the kind of source which will be really a representation of your love, a transcription of your love of the world, of the world, of the world, of the nature, which will be full of those energies. And I will have to talk to you at a time about the iridescent. Iridescent is I would say that's a small. I'm going to find out some illustration from that. Yeah, I've got some. Okay, let's go to the iridescent. Okay. Here we are. Okay, so you can see them. That's the brightest because there are different kinds of iridescent people living in the entrails, and that's the brightest. You see, they are not very tall. I would say that they are something like between 30 and 50 centimeters high. In English, it would make something like 1.5 feet high. And they are very kind and they are very smooth. It's very interesting to work with them. I think that I must have some other representation going on. Let me find them. Yeah, I've got some of them. I can show you. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you two of those. Because they are really wonderful. Okay, here you can see that's the wise iridescent. They are really wonderful, so kind, and they can help you with meditation and so on with their fantastic frequencies because they know a lot. And they are onto Earth. They were onto Earth much before we arrive onto the Earth. Okay, so let me show you another one. Yeah, okay, here you got one. Okay, and now let's come back to the, yeah. Okay, here you are, because I would like to continue with that. After seeing what is interesting when you contact the nature spirits, that they are really willing to help you to learn how to communicate with enlightened beings. And for them, it's a game, it's a pleasure. They do know you so well. And what's interesting in them, it's like intraterrestrial frequencies. That's a frequency which are much more like the etheric frequency. And you know that the etheric planes is the one which is closer to our body. So it's the place where you can have direct contact with the matters and so on. So they are very, very close to our body on the plan in which not every people can see them, but so with your capacity, you will arrive to see them, no doubt about it. And then a wonderful way to work with them is to call them and to have them to inhabit us and to see what their frequency made to us, what kind of change they induce only by their presence into us. So you can do that. Let's try that with an elves, male or female, whatever. So you can call an elf or female to combine into you. Okay, and then you can feel the peace and the reliance, the links to all the living things, to the trees, the plants, the sky, the planets, and that's really wonderful to feel that. And you can feel deeply how they are connected deeply into the inner earth, and that's something fantastic. And there is like a kind of collective conscience between them and between all the nature spirits and the trees and the vegetations, and also with the rocks also. And after this contact with the elves, I just want to add something that you can add if you like their capabilities and if they inspire you. So you can ask to an enlightened beings, I would say, to stay with you for more than they can stay with you. I would say for more than 10 seconds. If you want to, you can ask them to stay with you for saying 1 week, 2 weeks, and so you can fall asleep and then ask them to go outside while you sleep quietly, or you can then ask them to stay with you while you are sleeping. So your frequencies will learn from their frequencies, and their frequency will learn from your frequencies, and you will see your world will change, really, really. And then let's go again to a new capacity, that's the fairies. The fairies are something really fantastic because I am you, they are full of joy, happiness. They are crazy. When you call fairies, you can have 2 or 3 around you. One of those can come on and just stay up on your and land onto your hands sometimes, and then be on your shoulders and maybe coming into your heart. That's something fantastic. And when a child is crying, even so in the bus, the underground, or I don't know. Every time that you can see a child crying, I'm calling either the dolphin spirit or a fairy to help him, and usually the cries stop. And I would like you to take time to welcome some fairies onto you. So I can see for me they come immediately, because with the subjects we are talking about, all those nature spirits of my lands are being there in the temple where I am doing these videos, and then they are just flying around me, and one of them has been landing onto my shoulder. I can feel it, and now I'm going to make some place. Yeah, another came onto my right hand, something fantastic. And I just take the one which is on my right hand and just, okay, I start to go into my heart, and just because sometimes I feel a little bit tired, I will ask him to bring me much more joy and happiness and comfort. Yeah, that's what she's doing right now. That's really wonderful. Why don't you do that by yourself? Just feel the magic of the fairies. Just feel the joys, in some way, the way where they don't, they are not projecting anything into the future. They are just living the present time fully with gratitude and love. Okay, that's really funny. It appeals to our children's soul, our child's soul. Really, we can find it again. Just be okay. Find the clouds, find dragons in the clouds, see different things. Again, be surprised by life, by what she's giving to her. Okay, and then let's go to another. So I would like to present to you after one in France, we call that a faun. I know that there is a term fauna, which is more generic for animals in United States. For now, I didn't know that's kind of centaurus you see, but which is standing up. And the fauns are living in the trees. And mainly they live in the trees, and they can have in the trees more than one family. They can sometimes there are 2 or 3 families living there and with their child, and that's really so wonderful to talk with them. But know that they are really a specific relation with their tree, and so they don't go so far from their tree. They love to stay close to their tree, and then don't like to show their children to the humans. So they are very protective from that. And that's really something fantastic, because sometimes if you see that one of your tree is ill, you can heal him. You can see what kinds of illness he has into it. It can be some entities, animals, or human, just being taken into the trees. And And you can talk also with this nature spirit, diving into it to know what is it about, and he can help you. And sometimes you will feel when you go into place where trees has been cut, you can feel some very sad energies coming on from the fauna, which are crying because their tree has been cut. And the things that you can do, say just give them love and think about a fantastic place, a forest, which you are thinking, and just give them your thought so that they can travel to this forest and just to find a new habitation, a new place to live there. And so they will thank you, and you will be thanked by them a lot. And then we have fantastic pictures of Dana, which is the wife of Pan. Pan, you all know Pan. Pan is one of the, I would say, that Pan is one of the guide of the forest, and with his wife Dana, they both are connected to all the trees of forest, even so the master tree, you know about the master tree, I'm sure, and they know, and they are connected to all of the nature spirit, and so by their guidance, they guide the forest to its best, and they are trying to keep the energies flowing well and to purify them. And so here we do have Dana just talking with a unicorn, you see, and there is something fantastic with the unicorns that they can give, I would say, they can, you can receive a unicorn into you, baby unicorns into you, that you will wear from a time for the conceptions that you will wear. I would say that the conception of your unicorn is around 6 months, and though it will grow into your belly and you can feel it, and that's really something wonderful. And when you get out, after sometimes living around you, you can take it and bring it into wonderful valleys, or if you are living in a wonderful valleys, maybe it can still stay with you, and that's a fantastic moment to do that, to bear unicorn into his belly and to put it into life. That's something, wow, that's really an experience to go through. So, and there are crystal unicorns, which give them much more their crystal energies and so on. So I propose to you to encounter a crystal unicorn. That's something fantastic. Okay, let's go. Yeah, and with its conch, they do have magic powers, so they can enlighten the life for people who need to. They can bring joys, happiness, and they can also transcend all the deep emotional wounds into something much more smooth, much more quiet, much more and gets people to be in peace really easily. And their crystalline capabilities helps a lot to do that, so it can inspire you also. So let's go take a time with this crystalline unicorn. Okay, maybe for some of you, it will be an encounter which occurs already some times ago in another life. You know them already. So you have been taking time with them already. You have been running with them, or it's maybe you have been onto their backs and just riding them into wonderful valleys. That's possible also. We did have lives like as dragons, as elves, as galactics, as intraterrestrial. We did have a lot of lives before becoming human beings, incarnating into human beings. So yeah, how do you feel? Yeah, it cleans a lot the bad energy we may have in our body. It harmonizes and it gives us joy and happiness and clarity and light. And that's really something wonderful, this nature spirit. And so there is something that people don't know about when they are doing their gardens. It's really good to work with the nature spirits, because the fairy will be in charge for the pollen to be transport from one plant to the other, like the bees also, and they participate very often to the production of fruits and vegetables and so on. And also, don't forget, I've been talking to you about the intraterrestrial dwarfs. That's know a lot about the intraterrestrial energy, so they can bring it. It's like in homeopathy, you know, in homeopathy where there are those small spirits which are I would say to which have a certain amount of healing capabilities, and with the flows of energy going on, the intraterrestrial one, that's the energy which feeds the vegetables, the plants, which give them strength, as it does for our body. And, you know, they do have a lot of healing capacities. For example, I've been, and the dwarfs know that very, very, very well. So it's very good to cooperate together, to work together when you do want to do something, because they are really of great, great help. For example, you know that's among your psychic capability, there is a one. You do have your hand, and you have a kind of light things going on out of your hands, and with which you can just go around you and feel, okay, where is the dwarf? Oh, my hand is stopping, so the dwarf is in this direction. Is it far from here? Okay, 50 feet, 10 feet. Okay, it's 10 feet. Okay, I can feel it. 50 feet, I don't feel anything. 10 feet, I feel it. Okay, just I walk there, and just I arrive, and oh, I feel the dwarf is there. I feel its energy going on, which anchored me a lot. And that's a way to discover where the dwarf is. And then at this place, you can talk with him, recognize him, to have him seated just beside you. And sometimes there are guardians of gateways into the nature that you can go through and have your frequencies increase, a greater level of light going on. And so it's very good to meet after a while some wonderful divinities of enlightened beings. So, yeah, I'm talking about. So there are so many things to say about them. So, I was talking about the fact that they are also guardians of doors, of light doors. And when we go to the Magdalena Cave, which now Marie Magdalena Cave, just nearby our home, and when we go there, there is a magic forest where you go through. That's a very, very old forest, and the stone will talk to you when you go there. So next time, I hope we'll go together. And then you go through a lot of doors whose guardians are spirit natures, dragons sometimes, angels, archangels, and each time you go through those doors, your level of frequencies increase. And then by this way, you are changing of words. And this way, when you arrive to the Marie Magdalena Cave, and that you have been going through this path in conscience, you are ready to really welcome the tremendous frequencies of Marie Magdalena in your full capabilities. That's why those doors exist, but they are accessible only to awaken people. Okay, so, and that's also, I would say, a role of these nature spirits, so to be guardians of those doors. Another of the roles is to be present also very often in the cave matrix, crystalline cave, matrix crystalline cave, which are present in the intraterrestrial world, and where you do have the mothers, genetician mother, I don't know if that's a word in English, genetician mother of Sirius, which are working there to be able to increase, to ameliorate the race, the different people, the different beings, and so on. And so that in the case it occurs, and then you really very often there are nature spirits which are present there, and they, by their frequencies, accompany people or living things being ameliorated, receiving transformation and healing into these magic caves. Okay, it makes a lot of information. For me, it's sometimes quite difficult. I am learning to talk for around half an hour in English and about subjects that's really passion me. That's my work, that's my life. I am Philippe Gilbert. I am an holistic guy, and a psychic, and I am an honorary architect passionate about sacred sites, and I can bring you to really new realities if you are following me. So just don't forget, if you have been liking this video, to subscribe to the channel, and then to don't hesitate to put comments. That's something that YouTube love a lot, to help me be visible. I would like that really, because my books will be translated, and I assure you, I will bring you into really new worlds in your consciousness, in your way of feelings, and in your ways of communicating with everything that is around you. I've been traveling all around the world and towards the sacred sites. I've been encountering a lot of enlightened beings, from galactics, from Arthurians, Syrians, Pleiadians, and much more Tegesians, and a lot of them, and you don't know. I've been speaking. I just been speaking with you about just a very small amount of my knowledge for now on. So I hope we'll have time to share all together. I love you. I am Philippe Gilbert. Okay, don't hesitate to follow me. Bye bye.